A British cryptocurrency expert has just arrived in Russia after being detained since February in Saudi Arabia. Christopher Emms is on the FBI's most wanted list for allegedly helping North Koreans develop blockchain technology to evade U.S. sanctions. After long consideration, Riyadh decided not to extradite him to the United States, allowing him to leave. But to discuss this saga and how blockchain technology ties into it all, I'm actually joined here in the studio by Christopher Emms himself. Chris, thanks for joining us here.
Thanks for having me, Don.
So the first thing I want to ask is just basically for you to run us through this crazy story. I mean, you were detained in Saudi Arabia. The U.S., the FBI wants you because you were in North Korea in some sort of blockchain conference. Give us the story.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll give you sort of the long summary because we'll be here all day if we go into massive details. There's lots out there already. So I was indicted by the FBI back in the end of January this year for violating US sanctions that are only applicable to US people. As you can probably tell from my accent, Don, I'm not American.
Right.
I'm British. So that was a long tirade of trying to leave Saudi Arabia, where I was at the time, where I was detained for 8 months based on an Interpol Red Notice and the FBI Most Wanted list, of which I'm currently a member of. So yeah, that's the situation, essentially.
And what is the FBI accusing of you of exactly in connection to this conference in North Korea?
Sure. So they're accusing me of violating a US presidential executive order, which is the International Emergency Economics Power Act, long phrase, which only applies to US citizens. It is an order that just specifically applies to US citizens, but they've decided to apply that order to me for some reason.
And what exactly happened at this conference in North Korea?
Sure. The thing is, Don, absolutely nothing. This is the crazy thing, right? It's, you know, there's all these stories of, me being this sanctions-dodging mastermind. It's only cost me money. I never made a penny. And it was, a lot of people, it was a weird, quirky trip to take. That was the point of it. It was a sort of a weird holiday. It wasn't meant to be any of this stuff. So this is why it's even more bizarre and why so many other people see it that way too.
Right. And you had an American partner, right, that you went to North Korea with?
Not a partner. So the gentleman in question, he is serving his sentence in the US. I'd never met him until the day in which we actually travelled to North Korea.
Wow.
So he's never my partner. I really don't know the guy properly at all.
Right. Well, do you think that the relationship between the United States and Saudi Arabia had something to do with them deciding not to extradite you? Because, of course, we know the Biden administration, Joe Biden has called the head of the Saudi government a pariah, and his meeting to Saudi Arabia didn't go very well earlier this year.
Yeah, I totally agree with that sentiment, Don. I think I was in Jeddah at the time in which President Biden visited Saudi Arabia. I don't think it went well for him at all. I think that, the days are gone in which the US can bully and cajole, countries even like Saudi Arabia, one of their closest allies. So I think that, yeah, you're absolutely right. That played a very big part in my freedom and me being here speaking to you today.
And what do you think, let's go to cryptocurrency in general. How do you think this can influence the future of the world economy, or perhaps help Russia help Russia defend its economy against Western sanctions, for example?
Absolutely. Well, let's take Russia's situation, even mine. Me myself have been, all my bank accounts in the West were frozen by the US. But thanks to cryptocurrency, I can pay for a taxi here to come and join you today. And I think the Russian Federation has a huge opportunity right now to embrace cryptocurrency, to regulate the space. I'm all for regulation in order to make sure that no sort of money laundering and any sort of crimes are used for crypto, but to really use it to engage and trade with the world, because essentially that's what crypto is, Don. Crypto is designed to liberate the world from and to create commerce and free trade, which is something I think everyone's in favour of.
Well, there are a lot of people who are skeptical about it because of the fact that it's so volatile. I mean, over the last 6 months, Bitcoin specifically dropped 70% of its value. Sure. Are you optimistic about the future?
Yeah, I mean, I think once people sort of go down the rabbit hole, they'll understand there's a lot more to crypto than just Bitcoin, right? So, we have stable coins that are backed one-to-one on any what we call in crypto fiat currency, but that would be like US dollars, rubles, euros. those things are genuinely great remittance methods that can be used by anyone. But the great thing is they can be used by anyone and no one can stop them, which is exactly why I believe the US targeted me in the first place.
Mm-hmm. And at this point, I mean, what are you going to do, right? How do you think you can seek justice and combat this, the fact that you're on the FBI's most wanted list? I mean,
that's a great question, Don. To be honest with you, I haven't really got round to that thought process yet. It's just a great relief to be here. And I'm sure, you know, the plan will be with, I'm really, really thankful, and I will thank here, you know, my team that have been amazing. Dr. Abdullah in Saudi, Rada Sterling, Olga Litvinenko, who is my Russian lawyer who helped me get here. You know, we're looking at options. But yeah, I'm not going to go down without a fight, that's for sure. Even though I'm very happy to be here and I'm safe and sound and I have no problem staying here, I really want to get rid of this silly most wanted poster on Google about me, for sure.
Right. Well, it's definitely, it must be a relief for you to be here. And staying on that subject, what do you plan to do here in Russia now that you're here?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So, you know, it's been very interesting because, you know, I thought there would be a very big, you know, sort of backlash and I wouldn't have anyone that wanted to engage and work with me in my field of expertise. But it's not been that case at all. You know, I really want to help, and I really want to help other people who are, unfortunately, in a similar situation to myself. Because, you know, 8 months being detained, having spent some time in prison, it's quite a grueling process, but it's also something which is in a way is a gift that you can give to other people to help them, you know, the people that are less fortunate that end up in this situation, who didn't manage to make it here.
Well, I just want to ask you one more question about blockchain technologies. There's a lot of talk these days about the end of a unipolar world, the rise of a multipolar world. How do you think blockchain technology is going to play into basically the decline of Washington's unipolar world order? Yeah,
absolutely. So we're seeing them try to control cryptocurrency. We're seeing them trying to monopolize specifically Bitcoin right now. But one of the things that they don't really understand the underlying technology. It's in crypto we wouldn't say multipolar, we'd say decentralized, right? It's an entirely decentralized, not just a decentralized currency, but a decentralized community of people that are fed up with this narrative. They're fed up with being told, you know, who they can be friends with. We're seeing this right now, right? We're seeing these sanctions where basically, you know, we're being told who you can be friends with, who you can invite to come to your house. You know, if I live in London, I can't get my friends to Moscow to fly in and see me. And people are fed up with it because we live in this multipolar world, I believe, already. The internet has changed the world phenomenally in what we would call in crypto Web 2. We're now moving into Web 3, which is just going to enhance that and open up the world to even more possibilities.
All right, well, cryptocurrency expert Chris Emms, welcome to Moscow. A pleasure having you on the program.
Thanks, Don. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time.